What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Ducks and Download, and in this book review, we are going over The Eye of Darkness. Oh, what an amazing book! The Eye of Darkness is the first novel that we're getting in Phase 3, coming alongside some of the comics, Shadows of Starlight, and the main run High Republic Phase 3, but the book is going to take us right back into the thick of it. This book is stellar. It is amazing. It is everything that I was hoping for Phase 3, plus so much more. The Nihil in their occlusion zone are just absolutely running rampant, like kings and petty barons, taking everything they want and anything they need. We have the Jedi, Avar Kriss and Porter Engle, stuck behind the occlusion zone, just trying to survive while also making sure to help as many poor innocents as they can, caught up in the Great Storm. But not besides that, we then have the Jedi back on Coruscant, those who did make it out, feeling the survivor's guilt and doing everything in their power to try to get back to their Jedi brethren on the other side of the occlusion zone. Bell Zettifar and some of the familiar faces searching through the outskirts of the occlusion zone, trying to find Nihil ships to take their path engine, or perhaps even take somebody alive. There is intrigue, there is espionage, there are so many great things in this book that I highly recommend it. As far as books go for the High Republic, Phase 1, 2, and 3, Eye of Darkness is easily number 2 right after Fallen Star, and just barely squeaks above Path of Vengeance in my eyes. It's a stellar book with so much absolute heart-wrenching moments where you really don't feel like the Jedi are going to make it through this. It almost feels like the Nihil are going to win every other page until finally in the last little bit of the book, hope, like we always know in the Star Wars universe, hope finds a way. Now a bit more spoilery. First off, can I just say that Porter Engle is one of the most amazing Jedi we've ever gotten to see, and if he's dead, if he's dead, George Man, you're one of my favorites, but I'm gonna hug you so hard. I can't believe they're doing the no off-screen, no body thing, which then tells me Porter Engle's not dead. No body, no death on screen, no death in Star Wars. We all know how that works. But to even get Porter Engle trying to rebuild an old High Republic Phase 2 droid from when he was younger to help send a message out. Brilliant. We have Elzar Mann sending messages into the occlusion zone using old Wayfinder techniques that of course Porter is able to then hear these messages, and man, are they emotional. This whole time that Porter's fighting for his life, we have this love story, and I don't care what you say, it's a love story going on between the ghost of Elzar and the ghost of Avar Kriss, not able to see one another or even speak to one another, but needing one another so much right now. Avar in the comics gets to hear Elzar's voice, and that sends her into a tizzy of hope, and she carries that through the Eye of the Darkness. That was one of the final things she got to give her any attempt at thinking she could maybe make it out of this on the right side of things. Elzar is tearing his hair out at the root, trying to save Avar. He would admit to you he wants to save the other Jedi. That's not true. Elzar has fallen and is falling deeper and deeper every day that he and Avar are apart, and every single time one of his missions or his ideas fail. He wants nothing more than to get Avar back to his side, because Elzar is trying to be someone he will never be. This book is filled with Elzar Mann attempting to become Stellan Gios, and it's heart-wrenching to watch Elzar suffer so much at his own mind. Everyone else is standing there beside him telling him, "You are enough," and he cannot believe them. It is gut-wrenching, it is impactful, and it is powerful. But aside from that, we have the weak, the almost timid at parts, Avar Kriss, who feels like she's failed all of the Republic. The Marshal, the hero of Hetzal, fallen greatly into the occlusion zone, stealing grain hoppers just to try and help Rhodian civilizations that will still die in 2 weeks because that's not enough. Avar's story within the Eye of Darkness is a story of desperation, but then that hope that does shine out of her is even more brilliant when we get to meet her new best friend, Baylan, a little Ugnaught pilot who helps her take some of this grain to Rhodians and then just never leaves her side after, is such a breath of fresh air and an amazing side character for both humor and humility. We even get to hear "I have spoken" again. That's amazing to get to bring that little Khalil quip right back into the Ugnaught way of speaking. As we do here, Ugnaughts seem to use that a lot. We have Porter Engle and we have Avar doing everything they can to survive. We have Elzar just trying to get into the inclusion zone to save the woman he loves. You know he loves her. And we have Bell and Burryaga. Yeah, that's right, everyone. Burryaga lives. If you haven't read Tales of the Jedi, highly recommend it. Bell and Burry are scouring the edge of the occlusion zone, trying to take down Nihil and stop their random attacks to also hopefully capture a path drive to help get them into the occlusion zone. It is militaristic with Bell. It is fiery and passionate, but with Burryaga there to help keep his feet on the ground, Bell never loses himself. That friendship is one of my favorite friendships in all of Star Wars. A lot of people like to stand lovers. Man, I'm here to just talk about Bell and Burry and how those two are some of the best platonic loving friends I've ever seen in not only Star Wars, but just a lot of recent media. But now onto the dark side of things. Marchion Ro is a bastard. Oh, in all the best ways. He is really unraveling at the edges, though, because I feel like he doesn't have the opposition that he needs to keep himself going. Marchion is not a scholar. He's not a sage. He's a sword. And a sword only knows one job. And when the sword gets put in the scabbard, it doesn't know what to do with itself. And Marchion is showing signs of really unraveling, as he doesn't want to govern the Nihil Zone. He just wants to take things away from the Republic and the Jedi. So he has to work with like Garrus Staros and try to take things back into a more Republic line of thinking, all the while just using her and every single person underneath him to get what he wants. We can almost watch Marchion marionette people into something that they think is their idea, to when it blows up in their face, he's there to swoop up the pieces and make it a point of prospect and a point of power to the Nihil. He's a genius, and I can't wait to see how they're going to deal with him. But deal with him they must. Because the Nameless, as creepy as they already were, did not need help, Bolin. That's right, Baron Bolin, one of the last people we get to see out of the Phase 2 Young Adventure books. That's right, that little Ithorian guy that Marta talks to about not blowing everybody up. Yeah, guess what? That's him. This dude is so creepy, but in the best ways. But he is torturing Jedi, studying the Nameless, and enhancing them. Why you gotta enhance them? Why? That's so creepy. I love it though. Phase 3 is gonna be a bloodbath, and I don't foresee a lot of Jedi coming out of this unscathed. Even Yoda himself has turned to Darksiders in the comics to try and seek answers about the Nameless. This is going to shatter the Jedi Order and really bring them into that position that will lead into the fall of the Jedi, and I'm here for it. If I have to give a score for the Eye of Darkness, it's easily a 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that would have made it better in my eyes is Porter not dying and making it back with Avar. But the ending, when we get to see, again guys, huge spoilers, Avar Kriss and Elzar Mann reunited, and their hands barely brush against one another, and that fever pulls between them, and they know they are again able to be with one another. So much hope, so much love. I honestly hope Elzar and Avar just leave the Jedi Order and go be married somewhere and have a family. We've seen it so much in the High Republic where Jedi have openly admitted to not wanting to be a Jedi anymore, and that's one of the things that's going to really help the Jedi Order, are having people in there who don't want to be Jedi all the time and can admit that. It's an amazing story with ups and downs, and again, until the last few chapters, I really thought this book was going to end on a horrible note, but it brings it all back, and we get to really see that fiery blue hope that is the Jedi and is Star Wars come into fruition. Absolutely amazing read, and an even better audiobook, I'm sure. Mark Thompson does everything great. Well guys, thank you all so much for joining me for this quick book review and breakdown. If you have any questions about the Eye of the Darkness, put it in the comment section down below while you're hitting that like and subscribe button. I can't wait to talk more High Republic with you all, as it's easily becoming my favorite era, really outpacing the Old Republic even. So again, in the comment section. Do you have any questions, concerns, or other just random comments about the High Republic? Let me know. Have an amazing rest of your holiday season, a great night, and as always, may the Force serve you well.